Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. My name's Neil and we're checking out another episode of QI. That's right, it's another subscriber request. We are going to Stephen Fry's last series. This is Series M, one of his last episodes in fact, episode 8, and it's called Messing with Your Mind. Now I know we've got Sarah Millican and Josh Widdecombe in this episode. Love them both, so I think it could just be a strong episode all the way through. The third guest is someone named Tommy Tiernan, who I don't think I recognized. I don't recognize that name anyway. Maybe when we meet him, we'll suddenly have one of those aha moments. But I'm not sure why this is requested. That's the beauty of finding my way through the QI catalog like this, based strictly on your recommendations, is I never know what I'm going to stumble across next. So I'm ready for it if you are. Let's jump right into it. This is episode 8 from Series M, Messing with Your Mind.
This week I shall be messing with your minds.
I wonder if we're going to get any magic tricks from Stephen today.
The sharp-minded Josh Widdecombe, the broad-minded Tommy Tiernan.
No, I do not recognize him.
Oh, never mind, it's Alan Davies.
Never mind.
And Alan goes, mind the gap. And we get on like a mouse on fire. Was it love at first sight?
Oh yeah, absolutely, Stephen.
Oh! It's about the mind and another capacity of the mind, one of its most important capacities that begins with M.
Memory.
Memory is right, yeah.
But isn't there a difference between fact and truth?
Right.
So
13 years
yeah.
of QI collapses.
Keep going.
That really helped me on this show.
I would remember stuff from my childhood that my father says didn't happen, but there's truth in the memory. I have a memory he would suggest that it never happened, of him holding me by the ankles over the side of a ship.
That's very profound and correct, I
So
think.
the truth in the feeling of the memory.
Yeah.
is
You
in
wouldn't
fact.
fail a lie detector test if you explained that memory to a polygraph.
Much to my father's chagrin.
I think I've got the opposite, because I think my first memory is something that I've been told so many times happened that I don't think I do remember it.
Implanted, yeah.
Does that make you worry that you may be a robot?
Well,
All these
now...
memories have just been uploaded.
There was a survey of 10,000 people in long-term relationships, and half of the men in that survey said they fell in love at first sight. A quarter of the women.
I think that's just the law of averages, because say, like, you're a single man, I think I fall in love with women 20 to 30 times a day.
Men are far more sentimental than women. Women are practical and less sentimental. They probably have a clearer...
Women facing away from it.
On the other side of the wall, it's a picture of Stephen.
And she says, oh, my husband makes all the important decisions. I make all the trivial decisions, like what the children should wear and what they should eat and how much we should spend on our household budget and where we should go on holiday and what sort of car we should drive. But my husband makes all the important decisions, like whether there should be a United Nations presence in Bosnia.
I don't think I fell in love at first sight.
You didn't?
I've never been so hurt in my life.
Can you remember what you were doing when the World Trade Center was?
Yes. I was one of the first people in England to find out, because I was watching Lunchtime Neighbours.
So you saw the first plane go in?
Yeah, well,
No one
first I
saw the first
Lou
plane go
close
in.
up the pub.
A friend of mine was living
I saw the
in
second
New
plane
York
hit, but I didn't
and
see the
happened
first.
and slept through it.
Wow.
He'd been out drinking the night before.
What is it? A friend of yours, was he Irish?
Irish, yeah.
What a night!
What did we do?
Well, a lot of people will tell you that they saw the first plane go into the tower. What they can't have seen is the first plane going in, that it was only shown on television on the second day.
Because it would have been very suspicious if they'd cut to New York before he
George W. Bush said, seeing that plane go into the first tower, my heart sank. Everyone said, he saw it. That means he must have had a secret camera. That means he must have planned it. But in fact, it just means he had a faulty memory, like many people.
And we know Bush had a faulty memory.
The researchers convinced 70% of participants that they had committed crimes during their adolescence, even though none of them had. And they just talked to them about it. And they said, according to your parents, you did this. And social pressure, you stole a car when you were... Don't you remember? And they kind of go, oh, yeah. Oh, yes, I did, that's right.
When my father
Really?
can't sleep, he says
He
lies
dangles
in
you over
bed
the side of a boat.
and tries to remember things he's never remembered before.
So, there we are. I can't remember what kind of point I was trying to make there. Unfortunately, neither can you. Now, how much would you pay for a machine that can print money? What I've got is a piece of paper and my printer, which is pretty accurate, at least if I print it.
very good.
There it is. There you go.
Steven's magic tricks.
How much would you pay for that machine?
I'd pay a tenner, because...
There was a man called Victor Lustig, who was one of the great con men of the time, who, unlike me, cheated and built a machine that actually didn't print money at all.
Is this the guy that sold the Eiffel Tower multiple times?
He does. He, in his lifetime, sold the Eiffel Tower twice. But he also built a machine for creating $100 bills. And then he'd sell the machine for $30,000. It was very successful. He went to prison, though, sadly.
I was given a rose underneath the Eiffel Tower once. And then the same man ran after my husband for €15.
I make about 2,000 or 3,000 every morning, and if I need more, I'll come back.
Are you talking about voiceover work?
Which do you find most convincing? The IKEA effect, the rhyme as reason effect, or the frequency illusion?
The rhyme as reason, I think that's the one where, like, if there's a rhyme for your rule, then people believe it more than if there isn't.
In my case, apricot jam I made last year. And it's just the best apricot jam there ever was. I'm told that it's part of the IKEA effect. In other words, if you've made it yourself you just think it's better than anything else that you can buy in a shop or anything else.
Is that why people are really smug about their babies?
Yes! They are.
You made it yourself.
I'm fierce fond of a decent bowel movement.
I'm pretty proud of my sourdough.
Look what Daddy made.
That is preferable to if you're a fan of someone else's. I'm a huge fan of Alan Davis's bowel movement.
Well, rhyme as reason effect. What do you think that can be about?
Is that like no pain, no gain?
Yes.
Or treat them mean, keep them keen?
If you drink wine, you'll be fine, and
Yeah.
Beer, you'll be queer.
only shot.
If you suggest a kind of rhyming piece of advice to someone, and to another group of people you put the same sentiment that doesn't rhyme, they'll believe the rhyming one. And it seems just to have some sort of authority or imprimatur that an ordinary phrase does.
If it rhymes,
It's
it
also
must be true.
the Keats heuristic, because it's beautiful. It must be true. You may remember O.J. Simpson's defence lawyer, Johnny Cochran.
If it fits, you must acquit.
If the glove doesn't fit,
Yeah.
you must
Acquit.
Got
That's
O.J.
quite specific as well. You can't use that.
You've got to be in it
To win it.
to win it. Yes.
Points mean prizes. No,
Points-
I'm not very
no,
good at this.
hang on.
Tonight.
Red light in the sky, shepherd's pie. And that's not the frequency illusion. Does that mean anything to you? That's weird. I only just heard that word for the first time 2 days ago, and now it keeps cropping up everywhere. Have you ever had that experience?
It's like when you buy a new car, suddenly you see your model everywhere.
So, you can tell the most appalling lie if it rhymes or it's featured on QI. What did the amnesiac say when the doctor asked him his name?
I don't know the answer to that question.
No!
I was telling you
That you didn't know it. Very clever. Very clever. Give him his points back.
Did he just say his name because it was written on the inside label of his knickers?
Calvin Klein.
If you have amnesia, you don't forget your name and you don't forget your past life. What you're not capable of doing
Is
is
forming new
remembering
memories?
new things that happened to you.
Oh.
That's...
You've just ruined loads of films.
I know. Listen to and remember these words. Bed, rest, awake, tired, dream, wake, snooze, blanket, doze, slumber, snore.
It's a long list. bed, rest, awake, tired. After that, and I think those, I'm not sure about number 3 and 4 there.
The blotter is to blot out all the excess ink as we try and print out this. Oh, yes, that's worked.
Good.
Oh, that's good.
Are you going to show us how they work later on?
Of course. Before I kill you.
Darkest timeline, Stephen here.
True or false?
He's a little
True or
pointy
false
goatee.
questions are more likely to be true than false.
True.
I'm going to go true.
Is the right answer.
Yeah.
56% of them, the answer was true, and 44% the answer was false.
Right.
And it seems the reason is that it's a lot easier to think of a true question than it is to think of a false one.
That makes sense.
Go B or C because the lazy examiners are more likely to put the answer in the middle than on the edge. Would have been better if they just taught us the answer.
Yes, if question 1 is true, what is question 2 likely to be?
True.
Oh, false.
True, false is more prevalent.
Oh, that's so boring, though.
The way, therefore, to optimise your scores, if you're doing a true or false, is to answer all the ones you know the answer to, then the ones next to them put the opposite. Oh. And then all the rest that are left over put true. And then you've got your best chance.
Or just revise more.
Yeah, you are everything that is wrong with British education.
Now, I'd like you to watch this film and tell me what happens.
When am I going to have to repeat all these words that you made us remember?
Keep thinking of them. Now, what's been happening while you've been watching?
It's flashing, but
blinking.
is it... Okay, things are
Oh,
changing.
there's a different person.
Yeah, but more than that's
Oh,
changed.
the dog's
But
still there.
That thing's just appeared.
In the centre there.
Yeah. Has that been there all the time? Yeah, no, it's always been there. Yeah, I said that.
You're sure
There
you
was
see?
a girl with an umbrella and it turned into a person with a dog.
Let's have a look, this time without the blinks, and there's rather a lot you've missed. As it comes up.
No.
Which one did that? Oh, no, it's still
The,
there.
the lighting
But it's
Thai
different,
noodle.
though.
No way.
Shut up.
Did not see that.
Stephen!
so much changed. Just taking out the blinks made it different. That blows my mind.
That kind of blindness, as it were, to changes in a scene and to things that happen is very common and is a problem for witnesses and so on.
Yeah, I was just about to say, eyewitness accounts mean nothing if that's the case.
And then you look at your left eye, you never see your eyes move. But they do. The reason is the brain shuts down your vision for that moment. So you are functionally blind at just that incredibly small moment.
Do you ever do that thing where you look at your eyes in the mirror and then you like move your head around?
Yes.
And it just looks like your eyes are staying in the same
Yes,
place.
it's very extraordinary, isn't it?
Oh,
Very
hours of fun.
extraordinary.
I didn't have many toys when I was growing up.
It's enough, isn't it? Your own body is a wonderful toy. Oh, I wish.
You knew what you were doing there, Stephen.
And it's even got a little calibration here. It doesn't work. I'm not going to do it twice. Oh, yes, that works. Oh, good. There you are.
Oh, wow. One of the options is 100. I just want to see what one of them looks like.
Okay. There we go. And, oh, it's 50. It should be 100. Oh, it is 100.
Well, gosh.
With a little application, a little skill, you can make money pretty
amazing.
easily. Yeah. But I feel guilty about it, so I'll probably give it away to a bookmaker. Now, how much sleep does a paradoxical insomniac get?
Lots.
Well, yes.
More than he thinks.
Yeah.
It's like a paradoxical kleptomaniac who leaves things in shops.
And all the scientific equipment shows that you are sleeping, but you're awake. And you remember where you are and what's going on. But you're refreshed. Every brain scan shows that they are asleep.
No.
It's weird, yeah.
That's very crazy.
Sorry, I don't really understand, and I think you're lying, but anyway. How do they feel? They feel refreshed.
They feel refreshed, they
But
feel
how do they
fine.
know they haven't slept then?
In their mind, they've been awake all the time.
No matter what happens,
Yeah.
you have to be awake 10 to 5, and miraculously, you are awake 10 to 5.
That's an alarm clock, love.
At school, if we were going on a dawn raid or something like that, they'd say...
Dawn raid?
Do a raid on the kitchens and steal jelly and things.
I forgot you grew up in an Enid Blyton novel.
Go 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And you'd wake up at 4 in the morning. And it always seemed to work. Honestly, I can't
That
remember
is
time and
bullshit.
Yeah, I'm with Sarah.
It's maybe a false memory I've got, but it's a very clear one.
It all changes when you get an enlarged prostate.
4 times on the pillow.
Something that Blyton didn't cover much.
How would you swear like a pre-pubescent supercomputer?
We.
It's called Watson, and it is one of the smartest supercomputers
Oh,
around.
it's the chess
First
playing one,
trained
isn't it?
to win at the American quiz game Jeopardy.
People don't know about Jeopardy in the UK?
Well, what they did was
Man,
they fed
maybe I
it an
should
online
react to an
dictionary, and I
episode
think
or
you
two
can
of
guess
that
which one
for
it
you
was.
guys.
It was swearing.
Urban Dictionary.
Urban Dictionary, yes. It has bad M words.
I don't know. What's motorboat? Am I the?
Oh,
Oh, yes, that's right. It's rather sweet, that, isn't it?
Oh, that's sweet.
Muffin top.
Muffin Top
there's
is...
a man cave. Have I got a man? No.
No.
Before it went on Jeopardy, it was just saying bullshit to every question.
Milkshake's been around for a long time, but has it got a new meaning that I need to learn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're young.
Khalees sung "My milkshake brings all the
All the
boys to the yard." didn't
Yes,
she?
because she had like a van that sold milkshakes.
My dormitory at school had a milkshake club, but we won't go into that.
It wasn't all like Enid Blyton, then, was it?
The fastest supercomputers can mimic 1 second of human brain activity in about 40 minutes.
So they're rubbish at Snap, for example.
Yeah.
But this is 10 years ago, almost.
Where were we? Oh, yes, Watson, the supercomputer, got in trouble because he couldn't stop fucking swearing. Why did the camel get the hump? And where?
On their back.
In the desert.
What's it for?
It's
Fat storage.
I know.
It's not for
Isn't it
holding water.
Food and water. I knew it.
Well,
Why didn't you say?
Because I wanted that to happen to you.
the surprising thing, perhaps, is that it evolved not in the deserts, not in the hot countries, but in the Arctic. And the hump seems to have developed for fat storage and for warmth. Canadian scientists found fossilised fragments of camel leg bone in Canada, which were 3.5 million years old.
Camels are Canadian. They went the other way across the land bridge, I believe.
In a war between the grass and the grass eaters, who's winning?
Grass eaters.
Who said the grass eaters? Thank you. But it seems that the grass doesn't try and stop itself from being eaten. It's perfectly happy just to regrow. So it actually does quite well because it's helped by being kept cropped. Yeah, in the war between the grass and the grass eaters, everyone's a winner. Do mushrooms prefer to grow in the light or in the dark?
It's got to be the dark, but
Well, the thing's going to go off if I say in the dark, so I'm going to say in the light.
They don't prefer either. They grow just as well in
They
dark,
rarely express a
half-light.
preference.
They express-
Would you like the light on, or...?
So why is it traditional to grow them in the dark?
less
It's
energy.
a dirty secret.
Cheaper.
Mushrooms in the back bedroom.
It's simply cheaper. Not very exciting, but quite interesting. Magic mushrooms, double M.
Psilocybin.
But they have a disadvantage, which is that you get a terrible tummy ache. And what did people do in order to obviate this disadvantage?
They vomit.
Afraid they'd give the mushrooms to the village idiot, and he'd then have a pee, and they'd drink the pee, which had all the psychoactive
Who is the
properties.
idiot in that scenario?
I don't know.
If a cow went into a field full of magic mushrooms and ate them all,
Start tripping
would it have
balls.
some moments of insight? The whole town would gather around him there. There was a theory that Jesus Christ was a magic mushroom.
What?
I mightn't have remembered this entirely correctly. Amanita muscara, which is the
Amanita, I know
it's
that.
the
It's a
notion
mushroom.
of using mushrooms as a means
Fly
to
Amanita.
transcendence.
Skyrim.
And I don't know the rest of the story.
My goodness me. In fourth place, with a very respectable -22, is Josh Widdecombe.
Poor Josh.
With a splendid -18 is Sarah Millican.
Oh, Alan's doing well.
He's achieved heights that may require oxygen. On -6, it's Alan Davies. What a debut. Tommy Tiernan on 2. +2.
Well done, well done.
Oh, I nearly forgot our memory test. How ironic. Who remembered the word bed?
Yep, very first.
Snooze?
Sure.
Pretty good. Sleep?
No, never said sleep. Never said sleep.
So you all encountered a sort of false memory planting there. If you don't believe me, you'll just have to watch the show all over again, won't you? Thank you and good night.
That was a fun one. I love talking about cognitive bias, period. But it's interesting because this is series M, so we're probably like 7 or 8 years ago, and it feels like cognitive bias has sort of reached popular awareness only in the last 3 or 4 years, maybe. So a lot of things that were said in this that are, quote, general knowledge may certainly not have been eight years ago, which it's cool. I like that QI is breaking ground like that. But yeah, this was a really fun one. I don't know how my mind works. Most people don't. I don't think anyone really knows how a lot of it works. The fact that we can't replicate the way we think with all the computing power we have at our fingertips says a great deal. We don't know how memories are formed, but we know that we can plant false memories. I know that's true. I know that I talk about my first memory in much greater detail than I think I'm with Josh on this one. Like, there's a whole story about my first memory, but how much of it I think I actually remember, I'm not sure. I remember telling the story so much that it's a very vivid story. It's very clear, but is it all true? Is it embellished? Is it misremembered? Quite possibly. Quite possibly. I've never seen Tommy Tiernan before, and he's a funny dude. I'm a little surprised I haven't come across him in my journey on this channel. But we love Sarah, we love Josh, they're great. And you know, it's weird watching Stephen in his last series because I miss him. As much as I love Sandy, I miss Stephen. I'm really excited. This is completely off topic. It's mostly off topic. There's a tangent here that makes sense. There's a new show coming to Netflix later this summer, The Sandman, which I am so excited for, based on what is often considered the greatest comic book of all time, written by Neil Gaiman in the late 80s, early 90s, and Stephen Fry's going to be in that. So I'm looking forward to that. In fact, there's going to be a number of familiar faces from this journey in that. Asim Chowdhury's going to be in it, Jenna Coleman, who else am I? Gwendolyn Christie. There's definitely going to be some familiar faces. It's got a huge cast, and I will definitely be reacting to it here on the channel, so I'm psyched for that one, and it'll be cool to see Stephen Fry again. Oh yeah, Mark Hamill's voicing a character, so is Patton Oswalt. It's live action, but there are some animated characters. It takes place in the dreaming, so there's definitely some surreal moments coming in that show. Nevertheless, thank you to those of you who recommended this episode. It was a lot of fun. If there's another episode that you'd love to see me react to, by all means, let me know in the comments below. I have a list. I'm working my way through them. I will eventually get to all the recommendations that I see. So, yeah. Thank you so much for spending a little time here with me today on Neil Talks. And until next time, everybody, take care, stay healthy, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.